Drake Maye had himself a night.
Sure did.
Sure did.
If you had to bet, speaking of betting right there, would you bet that he's the week 1 starter?
No.
I wouldn't either. Okay.
No.
If we were in here, which we weren't, last Monday, we were probably down at camp. I can't even remember where we were.
Yes.
But a week ago, we would all agree that Jacoby Brissett is the starter. It's clear, and it's not even like close.
Yes.
And amazing how it's flipped in 1 week because of one preseason game.
Flipped with who?
Flipped with the narrative around here that he actually has a shot to beat him out by the end of camp or by the end of next week, and he would be the week 1 starter, beating Drake Maye.
Are you talking what the coaches are saying, what Gerard Mayo said there, Elliot Wolf spoke yesterday, which we'll get into, or are you talking about us?
I think it's
people
more
on the outside.
I think it's more of us and fans. Fans obviously want to see the kid play. Like, how could you not after Thursday night? But you got to realize who he's in there with and who he's playing against too. I mean, you're playing against 3s and 4s. They didn't play their starters. He's going to get another shot this week, but I'm still not sure who he's going to be playing against. What are the Commanders going to do? How are they going to approach that game? What's interesting to me is Mayo said real quickly after two, everybody's playing. The whole offense needs to play. I think what's building here is they are all of a sudden becoming nervous about Brissett because of how he played, how uneasy he looked Thursday in the pocket. If I was doing a color, which I wasn't, if I was on the radio, I'm like, Bob, he looks a little shaky in the pocket, a little jumpy. Like that first pass to the tight end, was it Wilcox or somebody? It was a post corner to the right sideline. He like almost jump hooked that, saw it late, and almost forced that ball, but it was an okay throw. But other than that, like some of the incompletions were bad. Yeah, he almost had that one that got deflected, the pop where he got hit in the pocket, like he slipped, he got hit. I just think they got him on film now, and they must be saying, "Oh boy, how do we get him right before the beginning of the year?" And if he can't get right, the door is open, I think, for the kid to play.
Well, I checked in here on Friday, called in.
You did. I heard you were all fired up.
Yeah, I was a little fired up.
Did you get on your own speaker and everything, your headset?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, from the home base.
You should have done the show.
Maybe I should have. I was fired up enough on Friday that I could have done 4 hours.
How was that show? Who did you do?
I could have done
Cattles,
it.
Right?
Cattles, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he was fired up. He's always fired up.
He had his fired up shirt on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't believe a single thing that Gerard Mayo says. I don't believe him.
He says a lot of things.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying to Gerard Mayo right now when he talks about Drake Maye and the possibility of Drake Maye overtaking Jacoby Brissett. He reiterated it again this morning in his radio interview, saying that Drake Maye could 100% be the first team quarterback heading into week 1. Now, spare me with this. These are lies. These are all lies. Lies, lies, lies is what they are. And I think the purpose behind them, and there is a purpose. I don't think he's doing it just to give Drake Maye lip service.
No.
I think he's doing it for the reason you just gave, Zoe, which is let's give Jacoby Brissett a swift kick in the ass because we don't feel like he's had a good week. And Drake Maye did have a good week. So let's push Jacoby Brissett a little bit to make it feel like a competition to get the best out of him. But if you're asking me what their plans are and whether or not they would allow for Drake Maye to start week 1, I would say no shot.
Yeah, I just think Alex Van Pelt is so comfortable with Jacoby Brissett right now because he understands the offense. He knows it. Obviously, Drake, as he talks about it, is still processing and picking things up, and he's not ready for the game operation yet. Now, I say game operation. Did he operate the game Thursday night? Yeah, that's a preseason game. You can sort of baby him. But, man, when you game plan and you blitz and you got to react during the game and you got to get there and talk with your quarterback and make adjustments and the bleeps, so-called, is hitting the fan, I don't know how we react there. I think they're more comfortable with Brissett right now. But I'm with you. I think it's a kick in the ass because even after the red zone interception, Mayo talked about there were guys open. Like we broke it down too. There was a good chance. I think the outside guy to the right. I think it may have been Thornton or Polk ran a little post corner, but that ball had to be caught and launched. That had to be put up early. There wasn't anybody open. Like tight end may have been open if you put the ball lower into his outside shoulder, but he can't turn the ball over like that. And May looked good. May had great pocket presence, and he made some good throws, and he drove the team, and that's big. I'm with you. I think it's a kick in the ass to Brissett.
It was such a bad.
They got to get him going.
It was such a bad week for the team. To have May pop on Thursday night was very helpful. It was.
So this is your holding back theory type thing, right? Just ease him into it. Like, we don't want to show too much.
Well, this is all about Alex Van Pelt being comfortable and secure. This isn't about developing a young quarterback. That's what this team is focused on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, I'll repeat what I said Friday. This was the first real egg-on-your-face moment for this coaching staff. They looked stupid because of the way Drake Maye played on Thursday night. They looked stupid for not having split first-team reps in their training camp and giving the kid a real opportunity to compete. They look stupid for saying now that if he's better, he will be the guy, when you haven't given him an opportunity to be better. You haven't given him a real offensive line. You haven't given him your best players around him. You haven't done any of that. You didn't adjust and actually work things in for him until when? This past week? That's when you got around to trying to build something around the young quarterback?
It's almost like
you wasted 3 or 4 months doing what?
I don't know, but they're so bad up front that I think it's held him back even more because they really don't have a backup center. I don't think they have a backup tackle. I don't know if they have 2 starting tackles right now.
They don't.
And that's the problem is, Jesus, not only can we not get him in there and get him inundated with things, but we can't put him behind this other line. Like, that's the hesitation.
I thought the whole purpose of Jacoby Brissett was he doesn't need all the reps. He's so good within this offense and so aware of everything within this offense that his reps are not as necessary. He doesn't need that full volume of reps at this age with his experience both in the NFL and within this offense under this coach.
He might now.
He wasn't going to need them all.
He might now.
He had a bad week.
Yeah.
He had a bad practice yesterday. Drake Maye had apparently a good practice yesterday. Brissett was down yesterday. Do you think that one practice means that much to Jacoby Brissett?
No.
Like, he is what he is.
Yeah.
It's well established. You know what he is. You know exactly what you're getting if you start Jacoby Brissett week 1. You don't need to figure out in practice if he's capable of doing it or not.
No, it's going to be, because I think it'd be hard to start May, have him struggle and look poor. And then all of a sudden you got to pull him, and then you put Brissett in. That really gives the kid a setback. The buildup has to be there. Brissett has to fail, and he has to go in and play decently. Like, that's how you get May going. But, man, I watched that Denver game yesterday. Nix moved the ball. He looked good. You saw what Caleb Williams did for the Bears, moving around, throwing the ball. He looked really good. And I don't like Nix. He reminds me of a fullback playing quarterback. But they kept it short, kept it simple, and the team moved the ball when he's in. Like, this draft class, quarterback draft class, might be better than we thought. Some of these past classes, the Mac Jones year was a bust except for Trevor Lawrence. But this class, they may have something if you get May going. Because Nix is going to play, Caleb's going to play, and ultimately May should play. Week 1's tough for me. I can't get in on that yet. Unless Brissett falls on his face Sunday night. He goes out there and throws a pick first series, looks sloppy, and May goes in for a quarter and looks good. I think it's open. That's how much preseason game number 3 means now. Because they gotta double down and make sure Brissett's their guy.
Again, if you're basing the 8-year vet on the 3rd preseason game, I just think...
Well, that's the state of the team right now, buddy.
You've just gotten to a point where you're making snap decisions when...
This isn't Brady, Garoppolo, and Brissett.
I don't think that's what they want to do.
I know.
And so I think that Jacoby Brissett could fall flat and throw a pick again the same way he did on Thursday and still be the starter week 1. Because that is their plan. That's what they want to do.
I would have less faith in the coaching staff if Jacoby Brissett and his play dictated how much they wind up playing Drake Maye, right? Like, if he does look bad and all of a sudden they start to panic and play Drake, I don't want Jacoby Brissett to influence when you wind up starting Drake Maye.
Excellent point. You want Drake Maye to play because he's earned it and he's playing well.
Me
and
too.
He's ready, not because someone else stinks.
Yeah.
That's the state of your team right now, which is somewhat of a problem because you may be forced to play the kid earlier than
and
what
quarterback
you want.
is way down the list of problems on this
Oh,
team.
I agree. Buddy.
Way down the list. But let's talk more about their plan and what Bert Breer was telling me and Gasper in pregame on Thursday night at Gillette Stadium, what he knows about what the Patriots want to do. Thursday night, this is before Drake Maye.
Keyword pregame.
He had himself a night.
Yep. I think it's great commentary prior to the game.
But I don't think it's commentary.
No, it's informed opinion.
I think it's oddly specific and informed about everything that's going to go down with this team. And I just want to issue a warning. We're going to have a very fun year with Bert Breer. I'm going to issue that warning right now. It's a warning for this reason. You know how we have busted his chops over the years about being a Shanahan guy?
Oh, yeah.
About being a McVay guy. Who are the other friends of Bert?
Alex.
Mr. Nagy, of course.
Matt Nagy. He's a Nagy guy. You used to always make fun of him for being a Vic Fangio guy.
Oh, God, Vic Fangio.
Right, he's got all these guys.
I thought that guy has...
He is in the Shanahan
right?
coaching
I mean,
tree.
right, exactly. We've busted his chops about that.
It's like Fangio's got some like game plan in the Pro Football Hall of Fame for his defense over the years.
Listen, there are just teams and coaches and staffs that don't receive a lot of criticism from Bert, and Bert seems to have a lot of information on them. I've got good news, bad news. Good news. The people that currently run the Patriots football operation are Bert guys. We used to mock him for talking about the 49ers.
Bill shut him out. Yeah.
I think he's tapped into the current Patriots people. Gerard Mayo and obviously Elliott Wolf. I think he's more tapped in than he typically is. And he's the most tapped in guy going. That's the good news. Bad news is he's not going to be super critical of them.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's like Ohio State. It's like all of a sudden he's married to these people because it's like Ohio State all over again.
But again, back to the good news. Tapped in, and we get to make fun of him all year for that.
Break his balls.
Yeah, I can't wait. But Bert knows. He knows what's up. They don't want to play Drake Maye at all this year.
Well, I think that's the plan.
Their preference is to not play him at all. They don't want him out there.
I think they're just... The way Brissett has played in camp, it's pretty damn steady, and he's had a good camp. He's had a couple bad days here in a week, which should make them a little nervous because you're getting close to game one. You start game planning. And it's my whole point of when I said you can't fool the team. You can fool fans, you can fool radio people, you can fool the news people. You can't fool the team. When you're out there practicing and someone's making plays and someone's not, and you're playing the other person that's not making plays, the team scratches their head and they look at the head coach or the personnel guy, like, what are we doing here? And now, May's starting to come on at the end of camp, and it's what he should do. He should look more comfortable. He should get confidence. Like, I think the best thing I saw during that game was his interactions on the sideline. He got excited after the touchdown. Guys are coming over, slapping him on the head. He's building confidence. You need to establish that confidence with him. And if he goes in there early in week one and fails, his confidence could be shot all year long. You saw what happened to Mac Jones. You kill a guy's confidence, you're screwed. If you don't believe in the quarterback and you yank him and you pull him and you put him back in and he's on a roller coaster, it's not going to work out well for you. We've been there before. They got to get it right. They got to get the timing of this right. But I'm with you and what Bert thinks. I think they do have a plan. But sometimes plans change.
Yeah, I think their plan is start Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think they're going to go with it. I think they're going to roll with that. They are.
They got to look back and
they'll
say,
find every reason to stick with him.
80%. They got to look at all the stuff. Like 80% of the time, he's been good for us this spring and summer, and you got to roll with it. But the kid's coming on, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing he's coming on. I mean, 2 weeks ago, you're hesitating, like, oh God, did they pick the wrong guy? This should help him in practice, where he just doesn't get complacent for being a number 2 guy. Like, that's the one thing that drives Zappy. And I'm not bringing Zappy into this conversation because I think he's on the outside looking in. But I'm just looking on past experience and other years where I can play better than this guy. I should be in there playing. It's like the Brady thing. You get in there, you should want to play. You don't just want to stay second in line. Okay, we're going to do our drills. Jacoby's getting all the reps with the ones. I'll get the 2s and 3s. It is what it is. No, you want him to get after it. You want to be the guy. You want him to want to be the guy. I don't think he's there yet. But we're getting there. Slowly. You know me, I'm a week 1 guy. You're a week 9 guy.
Week 9.
I thought you moved that up to 6.
No, I said
I'm a 6 guy.
I thought he came back to 6 with you.
I said 6 is an acceptable but not preferred way, is what I said.
Huh.
I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't prefer it. I don't think that's a great plan.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's if he is going to get in this year, and they are working to get him on the field, it could be in that spot where the team is losing and they're facing pressure to do something. To do something other than continue to just roll out the same group of players and same quarterback every week.
Do you think that second preseason game, though, killed the redshirt year? Like going into that game, only playing 7 snaps, not really seeing him, it felt like, all right, you know what? Maybe he is a project. Maybe he needs to wait all year. But now that fans and everyone has seen him perform, man, if you're 1-8, 2-10, and that kid's still sitting on the bench, that's going to be really hard to not cave into the pressure of playing that kid.
I mean, that's what matters. Game stuff. Like that's when you knew Garoppolo can play. Like he looked terrible in practice, as did Brissett. His rookie year. And Jimmy was just spraying the ball everywhere. Then he got in the game, and it all settled down for him, and he performed. And you were okay with him starting with Tom being suspended. He was never going to beat Tom out. That's not what I'm saying. But some guys are better when the lights are on.
Yeah, but here's this as well. Drake Maye has not been as bad as some people have said he has been in practices. That was, to me, overblown. Granted, I'm biased. I like the kid a lot.
It's a combination of people he's working with, too.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's been factored into the people who are like, oh, Drake Maye had a terrible day. I'm like, well, Drake Maye didn't have more than a second and a half to do anything on this play.
Yeah, I'm with you. They set him up to be the number 2 guy. Now, that's their plan. That's part of the plan, right? Don't rush the kid. If that's what they believe in, that's what they should do. The number 1 guy should get all the reps with the ones, most of them. Now, when they start splitting them 50 and May ends up getting more, and I know it's going to be tough for people that cover the team because you're not going to see practice here at some point, so you're not really going to understand how he's progressing. But like you get to week 1, week 2, he's like getting no reps. Brissett gets 95% of the reps. If they're splitting reps 50-50 in week 1, like that's not good for Brissett. He's got to know it by the back of his hand. He's got to know the timing with the receivers, with the tight ends.
Well, that's why I don't put a lot of stock in what Gerard Mayo was saying right now because we're not going to know.
It's not a competition.
But we're not going to know.
Right. But I mean,
we're not going to know what goes down in practice anymore.
Yeah.
Camp comes to a close. Practice is not wide open for you anymore. How are we going to know?
Right.
That's why it's easy to put that out there right now. It's easy to say that it's competition still.
Yeah.
We won't know if they're actually treating it as such. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we knew. We could watch it every day. And we knew they were not treating it like a competition. And I don't think they're going to put a lot of stock in the preseason game. They're going to say it's not an unfair thing to say, but they're going to say, well, come on. It's against threes. It's against guys that are not really going to be out there come week 1. That's what they're going to say. It's also preseason, and it's a situation where the team on the other side is not playing starter-level players, and they're also not game planning for you. They didn't game plan for the Patriots or Drake Maye
All true.
On Thursday night. And that gets a lot different when in season you're going against teams that have whatever film they have of you and they can exploit your weaknesses with real players. So week 1, who gives the Patriots a better chance to win a game? Is it Jacoby or Drake Maye?
I think it's Brissett. Right now it's Brissett.
I agree.
Like, here's the problem, though. Like, here's your play sheet. You get graded when you go out there in a game. And I remember this from Parcells. Like, we know who you're working with. He would say it. We know who you're working with. I'm asking you to go out there, do the right thing, run the team, move the ball, get the ball in the damn end zone. I don't care if you got to throw it to a lineman in the flat. If he's open, do it. And if Brissett's got a negative, plus, negative, like, that's where the coaches look at it and say, uh-oh, what are we doing here? He's screwing up too much.
This is where, though, the meetings and the time as a young quarterback, as a rookie to develop, are valuable in the meeting room. Right?
Yeah.
Drake Maye can watch Jacoby Brissett go out week 1 and then watch film of their game, watch it back and be like, oh, wow, look at what they did to come after our team and our offense. Wow. Like, those are the places where you can actually sit and learn. When you can see what other teams have done to your team to try and stop it. And you see the game plan and you see how this league works and functions. That's why those 6, 8, 9 weeks matter. In my mind.
No, they do. They totally do. But there's one thing May's got that Brissett doesn't have, the evadability, the ability to maneuver.
Yes.
And create something when something breaks down. Like, you're going to have breakdowns with this offensive line. Can he get out of the way a little bit and get outside the pocket? People are going gaga over the deep post throw. That was a great throw.
It really was.
I thought his best throw of the night was a short one in the left flat where the penalty happened, the helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
He got his shoulder squared all the way back around, was sort of in midair, lowered his arm slot to get it around the guy, and threw an accurate pass out in the flat. I was like, wow.
Well,
That's stuff that Brissett can't do.
that was exciting, and it also isn't about are the legs and the shoulders and is everything matched up and are the
People are-
mechanics okay?
So true.
The guy can make an effing play. Did
Stop.
you just see it?
Stop with the
Like,
you can't
what
put
are
him because the mechanics are
you
shot. His
can't-
mechanics are not shot.
No, they're not. Thank
No.
you.
Everybody looks different. Bledsoe had the big timing pat. He pat the ball.
You don't get to use that as an excuse, AVP. That is not going to work. That is not going to fly.
Like, put him in there with David
Haven't you
Andrews.
heard Bird already with us? He's told us.
Yeah.
They want to reprogram it and make sure that the feet are matching the shoulders.
Then why couldn't they do that with Tim
The
Tebow? If you
eyes
could
are matching
reprogram
the
guys.
feet and
Yeah.
shut up.
At some point,
Can,
let him
can you play or not?
Let him play. Just let him throw. There's a reason he's good. There's a reason he was on film for 2 years at Carolina that you fell in love with him. Because he was making plays. Did they try and reprogram him? Now, there is something about being under center as to being in a shotgun and how you look at things and how you view it. Yeah, that's all true. He looks pretty comfortable to me under center.
Mm-hmm.
Put him with David Andrews every snap. He's not going to drop the ball on the ground. They're struggling at number 2 center, number 3 center. That's why their balls are falling on the ground. That's why low snaps are happening. Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.